Hello, Internet. Aaron here with Lower Lawns, and it's Sunday, and I'm working. We've got some storms rolling in tomorrow, and we had a storm late Friday, early Saturday, and it was horrible. We've had crazy winds. There's like this tornado spell running through the Midwest, and we're getting all the winds down from that. Like yesterday, my wife and I went out riding around, and it was just so windy. Like we were just getting blown away, and we're at Lowe's, and for example, and like shelves are knocking over on the inside of the garden section. So it was insane winds yesterday. Probably going to be insane winds today, and tomorrow it's probably going to rain. So I told her, like, look, I've got to get something done before it's a downpour on Monday. Tuesday morning's probably going to be shot because everything's going to be drenched and soaked in standing water for at least the first, probably till about 12 or 1. It's going to be really difficult to mow clean on Tuesday morning. Wednesday morning should be great, but then Thursday it's going to start raining again. So this is just one of those things where I've got to get a jump on the week, and that's what I'm doing. So let's take a look at this first property. Basically what I'm doing today is on my city properties, which is I've got 4 in the city, and then I've got 1 residential guy that is going to let me do his today, and I'll film them all. Hoping I can get everything done by like 2. It's something like 8 o'clock right now. So these are really small properties, so it shouldn't be too bad, but it is like 3 hours of work that if I don't have to do it later, including the drive time, like it helps. So let's take a look at this, because this first one is a city property that I have had since the very, very beginning. I did a fence install for them this last winter with a few plants. It looks really good. I want to brag on myself for that. That was a voice crack. What was that? And we'll just see how that goes. All right. It is windy today too, so sorry for the audio, but here's the fence install that I did. No dig fence. Went in really, really well. Took me a couple days to put in just because it was in the winter. It was cold. I was taking my time. Had nothing else to do, so I definitely could have done it in like a day, but there was no need for that. I do need to treat the weeds in here again. We've got a ton of rain, so everything's finally starting to pop up and we're warming up. But we got dwarf spruce here along the fence. We've got the dwarf, what are they called? Mini hydrangeas. So these will get decent size, but they won't get massive. Then we put in some pink mully right here. And there's 6 of those, but we'll have to see over time how well those decide to come up. And you can see how tall the grass is. This part right here holds a ton of water, so I don't mow this part as much. I tend to use a trimmer on it and go real light and do it every so often because they do deliveries in here and drive over it anyway. So let's walk around to the rest of it, and you can see did the pine straw here I think 3 weeks ago at this point. It's about time to trim the hedges again, the ones that didn't die from the cold. This camellia took a big hit in the cold, and shrub right here took a big hit from the cold. And these hedges are finally coming out and getting a little scraggly. That one took a hit from the cold. So these 3 hedges I think I put in whenever I first started this property, something like 5 years ago. Let me come around and look at these beds over here. You can see how tall the grass is. It's kind of out of control. But we'll get the view of the property here. Just come down and take a look. It's very, very tall. Shouldn't take too long to cut though. It is very small property. And if we walk around, I'll show you the other view, which is out here. Looking good, looking good. Of course, I've got my signs out here so that everyone can see. And now, let's get this thing mowed and get it looking good for the week. Finished product. We're all done here. Went through, edged out where the beds are, retucked the pine straw. I do that every single visit. Got everything mowed, ready to go for the week. Over here, we cut the easement a little bit shorter because, and I don't treat the easement either, because the city comes through with their mowers and scalps it anyway, so it's a waste of product. But we're all done here, got it edged out. Now we will head over and across the street, and I'll cut that one, and then we can actually see what this looks like from the other side of the street. All right, so here we are with one that I'm currently working on to rebuild the grass. We've started treatments already, and it looks really, really good compared to what it did. It was all Bermuda. We're treating it for cool season, for fescue, trying to get the dark green color to come up. I haven't seeded this yet, so it's literally everything that has already been here. I need to go over the weeds again, of course. That's going to be a battle for the next few months, but it's looking pretty darn good, all things considered. The part next to the street is still in bad shape, but again, over time, this will definitely start to look good. It'll start to look like my other property over there, which, take a look at that. That looks great. I'm really, really happy with that. But I started working on this one back in March. Well, February, actually. I started working on this. Had some of the weeds treated. I've put down some fertilizer here and there, and it is on its way. Like I say, we've definitely got a lot of weeds to come through, and keep fighting, but it's all the toughest of the tough weeds, right? Like, none of it's going to be easy to get rid of, but eventually it'll work out. But yeah, I'm actually already really pleased with how this is turning out. And I'll go ahead and cut this one because of the weeds. I'll cut it just a little bit shorter than what I cut over there. Over there, I cut at 4 inches. And here I'll cut it at like 3.5, 3.25. But this property is the front section, and it also wraps around down the side of the building here, which you can see. This is getting all the same treatments as the rest of it. The pine straw and stuff, we did that 3 weeks ago when we did the other one. I reshaped the hedges to be more circular because they were all weird, like triangle shapes. But let's just take a look. Now they're all like proper little circles. And of course, all the boxwoods got hit by the cold. One issue I am having here is the darn wind has been so insane lately that it keeps taking out my pine straw. So I'm going to get some pine straw. I might have a bale in the truck, but I'm going to get the pine straw, and there's a bird's nest in here, and fix this. I just fixed the other day this spot and that spot, but check this out. I came in and did a really hard thinning on these rose bushes, and they're already starting to bloom, even though we're in daggum 30-degree nights still. But anyway, I gotta quit talking, man. This is why I don't make videos, okay? Because they always take way too long. There's way too much to say, and it adds like 30 to 40 minutes to do. Oh yeah, I do have a belt finder. It always adds like 30 minutes to a really simple property. So anyway, I'm gonna start mowing. I'm gonna fix that pine straw, and we're gonna get on with things. pine straw fixed here. There's a couple other little spots to do, but got the front part mowed. I blew all of the junk back to the back section into the lawn in the back, which I'll show you in a second. And now here's the front all mowed up, looking good. Now let's ride around to the back and see what that looks like. All right, here is the back, and it is all done, mowed up, edged up. Sidewalk is a little jacked up, so even with the trimmer, you know, or with the edger, it's hard to get perfect lines. But you know what, man, I did what I could. And yeah, I'm also doing the same treatments back here, but this part was way worse than the front, so this area is going to take a long time to really fix up. But either way, we're good to go. On to the next one. I get a little OCD with my parking lots. Tuck all the pine straw again every single visit, and it turns out looking really, really well, I think. You know, don't do anything to the crepe myrtles, you know, leave them to do their thing. You know, these crepe myrtles have never been topped in the 3 years I've done this property, and they're blooming in the first week of April. So, or not blooming, but they're putting on their leaves. You know, you can't say that for the ones that get topped. And let's just take a look here at the property. All the hedges are nice and shaped. Pine straw is tucked. And then this patch over here, which is what you saw me mow a minute ago, is the fescue patch. This was nothing whenever I took on the property. But whatever it is about this little spot, I just love it because the grass is nice. Let me zoom out a little. The grass is nice. You got the burning bushes. The two trees are just in really great placement. And it's kind of like a just a little sanctuary. It's like a little nook, you know. It's just so peaceful to mow. If it weren't for the motorcycles. And then of course the back property, which is the, you know, what I would call non-presentation areas. All right, so at that last property, right as I was like finishing up that last bit of video and about to leave, the neighbor guy, like, you know, I hear him, I got my headphones on, so I hear him in the background, like, run. I was like, oh, sorry. And that motorcycle was going by. So I was like, hang on a minute. Like, and he wasn't like a loudspeaker, really. So I had to walk all the way around the fence and go see him. And he was like, hey, what would you charge me to cut? You know, my mowers went out, and the guy that I normally have to do it, I can't get a hold of him, and yada, yada. And I was like, well, hang on a minute. Let me walk around the back and take a look at things and, you know, see what everything costs. And, you know, he was on board. He was predetermined to go ahead and give me to cut it, right? He's like, I'll go to the bank right now, and, you know, whatever you need, I'll go down there and I'll get the money for it and let you take care of it. And I said, well, I'm not, you know, I'm just sort of getting ahead on schedule. Mind you, it's Sunday today. I'm just getting ahead of my schedule, and we're, you know, I'm going to go cut one or two more and head home, you know, to spend time with my wife and all that. And, you know, he was all gung-ho, like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the bank right now. You just tell me what it is, you know. And then I walk around the back, and it's tall, man. That backyard has not been mowed in a while. I would be surprised if it had been mowed, you know, before winter. So, and it's mush. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to probably push mow it. I think the small mower might be able to do it, but probably not. There's a good chance I'd be able to get stuck and not be able to get the truck back there because it's a tight squeeze. So it's a sticky situation. It's a rough one, and it's not a big yard. It would take me probably, in its current like tall state, probably hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. So I went around the front and I was like, hey, it's going to be blah, blah, blah dollars. And he goes, oh, like there's a weird thing when you give people the price, right? They're either, and this has been my experience, right? You either get like, okay, cool. And like nothing changes in the conversation, or you get what this guy did, which was, he went from, yeah, I'll go down to the bank, I'll get everything. And it was like, but then all of a sudden when I say the price, he goes, oh, okay, well, you got a card? You know? So I give him the card, and I'm like, okay, man, like, yeah, I really appreciate you, you know, waving me down, and it's good to meet you and talk to you, know, doing the cordial thing. But like, dude, I am not going to hear from this man. You know, there's certain people that will pay whatever price just to get things done. I'm that way. Like, I paid, I think, $200 to get my gutters cleaned out on a single story home last year because I don't do heights. call me what you want to call me. I don't do heights. Okay. I don't do it. So I paid someone to come out and get it done. And it was, they did a really good job. So, and I feel really good about spending that money. It may be a little too much for gutters. I don't know. There's certain people who will pay to get things off their plate, and others who are just like, sure, maybe their financial situation is what it is. It's bad, but to a degree, he was just telling me that his guy, he can't get a hold of him. The guy that normally does it, I can't get a hold of him. I don't know, I don't know what's going on. It's like, you don't know what's going on. You're not paying, right? Like, people, I'm shocked that people don't get that through their head. They just think people don't want to work. They don't want to. It's like, no, you have to pay people, and then you have to treat them a certain way, and you have to, like, there's certain social rules in place, right? And requirements to keep people coming around. And but anyway, I gave him his price that I would do it for like a one-time cut in its current state, and a price for maintenance every 2 weeks or whatever. And like I say, his face, like, he went from like, yeah, I'll run to the bank now, to, let me, you got a car? Like, it was just such a weird tale, like, of like, I'll never hear from this man. But I don't know. I thought it was weird. Let's look at this next one. This is going to be a long video for a freaking Sunday. And filming this, by the way, is taking so much more time than if I would just blow through and get things done. That's why, like, bits and pieces of like trimming and blowing, and like, you're only going to get bits and pieces of each property, just because it takes so much time, even with the phone, to just set it up and like try to get something decent. But anyway, let me show you this one. This is another one that I've had for, I think this is my 4th year here. So let's take a look. All right, so this one's surrounded by trees and stuff. We had a tree fall over there earlier in the year. I had to cut that up. It didn't look like it hit any other vehicles because they all park right where it fell, so that's good. But this one is surrounded by woods, and it never fails that if we get big storms, which we've had storms nonstop all winter, the parking lot just becomes a mess, an absolute disaster. But I'm going to cut this one, all the lawn areas. This one does get the perennial or the annual ryegrass every winter too, just because, it's like a little cheat, right? You can look a lot better at your job than you are because you plant winter rye and your stuff is just green all winter long. And now, of course, you have to do your caveats, and you got to let them know, like, look, this is a temporary deal. God, the wind's blowing pine straw out. But you got to do your thing of like, hey, look, this is a temporary deal. It's not a proper lawn. You can see bare spots and all that. But if you temper the expectations of the customer, look at the mess, man. Of course, the sirens are going off. But we got trash, we got leaves, we got a mess. And I'm gonna get this cleaned up and we'll show you the process. nursery for the day. Again, this one is ryegrass, and we did pine straw 2 weeks ago here, or a week ago, 3 weeks ago, sorry. I got the parking lot cleared up. The roses are blooming. You know, they're still getting hit by the cold a little bit, but they're fighting right through it. But I like this one. It cleans up well. Takes a good long while with the parking lot, but it's easy enough. And then of course, like I say, I gotta replace some of the pine straw from the wind, the crazy storms. Come over here with the small mower and cut this bit here. You know, it is what it is, man. This one's real simple. Tidy up the pine straw, the hedges. There's really not much to do. On occasion, I'll go and trim these back or shape them up a little bit, but usually if I trim this, it'll be something like all this dead material here. A lot of that came up from the cold, but I try to leave the junipers alone as much as possible. They do get a little bit big though from time to time. You know, there's a big issue with people planting things in areas they shouldn't be planted, but give me just a second and let me turn the camera. All right, so that is it for today. I'm not gonna film the last one because it does take a little bit of time and effort that I don't really have right now. The parking lot was a disaster. I had to like, I was gonna mow it and then blow the sidewalk off and like do it normal, but there was so much material that I just decided to stop mowing, blow off the sidewalk, and then mulch it all into the grass just so it'd be a little bit cleaner, because it would have been a mess if I did it the other way. So I lost some time there. Also filming it, just, it's, you know, this thing doesn't pay me. I'm doing it mostly for myself. So like, I guess one thing I would say is like, if you want more detailed videos or more like produced videos, like you need to like subscribe and comment and tell me so. And that's not me doing like hey, comments. I don't care. Like I don't care about the whole YouTube thing. But I can definitely do more if YouTube ends up becoming a lucrative thing. Like I would be more interested in it, but as it is now, I don't care about making the best video. I'm just mostly documenting for myself, for the first time in many years, because I've actually got time this year, which I need to make a video on that. I think I recorded one, but I didn't like it, and my phone was messing up and stuff, overheating in the heat, because I tried to film it outside, but I might make a video of that. But anyway, that's it for this one. I'm actually going to show you footage I filmed last week of the one that I'm about to go mow instead of filming it today, because it'll look the same, you know. The only difference might be if the storm damage is like severe, like it might be a more impressive before and after, but I'll show you what this one looks like so you get kind of the idea of what I've done today on my day off, right? But let's hope it wasn't for nothing and it actually storms tomorrow, because that's what's gonna suck, is like when I spend these days off, quote unquote, working all day, and then it doesn't storm. You know, those days suck. But anyway, I gotta stop talking. I gotta stop with the by the way. Keep it moving. Thank you for watching. Adios.